Okay, I'm here to do my UFC 121 predictions. It's a new thing I'm doing. It's called last minute predictions. It's pretty much when I do my prediction videos the day of the event or the day before, most likely the day of. And this is my UFC 121 last minute predictions. I haven't done this in a while, so I'm gonna try to get into a rhythm here. But we all know the main event: Brock Lesnar, the champion, taking on Cain Velasquez for the UFC Heavyweight Championship. And then we have the UFC debut of Jake Shields to take on Martin the Hitman Kampmann, and multiple other great cards. I mean, this is a great card, great fight. So let's get this going. So from the bottom to the top, first one here, we got Chris Camozzi takes on Dongi Yang. Yang is from South Korea. A lot of people probably don't know him. He did fight in Sudoku in his last fight. Took on Paulo, who's a world-class Judokan fighter. Has multiple gold medals and multiple Olympics in judo. So Yang did have a little tough time with him. And a lot of people are judging him off of that fight, and I think that's not an accurate judging of his takedown ability, because anyone who takes on Paulo is gonna have a tough time taking him down. Um, Yang is a smaller fighter, but he still, I think, is the better wrestler than Camozzi. I think Camozzi, he gets taken down. I mean, he's not a fish out of the water. I mean, he's great on the ground. He's really good on the ground. I was trying to think of a word and I couldn't think of it. But Camozzi, I think, is the better striker. He'll keep him at bay, keep him distance-wise. I think Camozzi probably wants to keep this standing. He does. He's a taller fighter. Does have the reach advantage. I think that's what's going to give him the win. If it does come in close to the clinch, I think Camozzi's going to throw up some knees. But I do see Camozzi winning this. I did originally have Yang, but it's a tough one to pick. But I'm going to go with Camozzi. Unanimous decision over Dongi Yang. Next one, Mike Guymon versus Daniel Roberts. Roberts just hasn't lived up to his potential. He really hasn't. He is great on the ground. He has multiple awards in grappling, but he just hasn't shown it. His last fight against Forrest Pets, I actually thought he was going to just run through Forrest Pets, even though Forrest Pets is a good guy. He's a good fighter. He has a great chin, but I just thought he'd probably submit him a lot faster. But it just didn't happen. Guymon, I think he's tough and he just has a good chin and he has a great heart. I think, truly honest, I think Guymon is probably all around a better fighter. He's more well-rounded than Roberts. Guymon isn't better on the ground, but I think on the striking and putting everything together, Guymon is a better fighter, and I think that's what's going to win this fight. So I'm going to go with Guymon, unanimous decision over Daniel Roberts. Next fight, Gabriel Yvel versus John Madsen. Striker versus wrestler here. Both are very much one-dimensional. I just think Madsen is more one-dimensional than Yvel. I think if Madsen does take Yvel down, then Yvel, he moves. He tries for submissions. He tries for sweeps. Madsen, he doesn't really work on his defense. I mean, he moves his head back and that's it. I mean, he doesn't really, his defense staying up hasn't improved that much, or well, the much I have seen that he hasn't improved. I think that's going to get him in trouble in this fight. Like I said, safe pick is Madsen by unanimous decision. He takes down Yvel and just, lays on him for all 3 rounds. But I'm going to go with Yvel, a little bit of an upset. First round TKO over John Madsen. On to the next fight, probably one of the fights that a lot of MMA fans want to see, that kind of wish we will see. Paul Taylor versus Sam Stout. This is going to be a stand-up war. If it does go to the ground, I'll probably give a slight advantage to Stout. But on the feet, they're both good chins, have great heart, and man, they're just really good. Taylor hits harder, I think, than Stout, and I think he has decent speed on the feet. Stout, he's faster and more technical, and I think that's what's going to win him the fight. His technical ability. Being a kickboxer, I think he's gonna land the cleaner punches on Taylor, but it's still gonna be a great fight. Taylor could easily win this fight, but I'm gonna go with Stout. Could go split decision, but I never pick split decision, so I'm gonna go unanimous decision over Sam Stout. Well, Sam Stout, unanimous decision over Paul Taylor. On to the Spike TV bouts. Patrick Cote versus Tom Lawlor. Um, Once again, Lawlor put on a great performance at the weigh-ins. Coming in as Art Jemison. If you guys don't know who Art Jemison is, Art Jemison he came in UFC 1 and he had one boxing glove and one bare hand. It was pretty funny, and it's still funny while they're doing it. But I think, to be honest, that's all Lawlor brings to the UFC. That's a fight. CB Dollaway, Aaron Simpson. Are we gonna see that Lawlor? Or are we gonna see the Lawlor that took on Joe Dirksen? And we really don't know. But even if it was the Tom Lawlor that fought CB and Aaron Simpson, I just think Patrick Tay is just a better fighter. I think he has the sprawling ability to get away from Lawler's takedowns. And I think if Lawlor does put Cote down, Cote does get right back up. and he's going to get the knockout. I think Patrick Cote's stand-up is much more evolved than Lawlor is. Cote comes from a striking background, and I think his striking is just way up here, and Lawler's just way down here. So I'm going to go with Cote, second round TKO over Tom Lawlor. Court McGee versus Ryan Jensen is the next fight. A lot of people think Court McGee is just all around everywhere. He's the better fighter. I think he is all the way around. He's a better fighter than Jensen. But if it does go to the ground, I will not be surprised if Ryan Jensen does submit Court McGee. Ryan Jensen is really good at jiu-jitsu, and he really does know how to put on submissions. So Court McGee does have to be trouble with this. You know, he has to. I mean, he has to recognize this, and he has to, be smart in his game plan. So that being that said, I think Court McGee is going to keep this standing. And if he does, then he has a huge advantage in the stand-up. I think he is going to knock out Ryan Jensen. He's gonna hurt him, and then Jensen's going to fall, and then Court McGee just pound on him. So I'm going to go with Court McGee, second round TKO over Ryan Jensen. On to the main bouts. First one, Diego Sanchez takes on Paulo Thiago. Diego Sanchez is back with Jackson MMA in New Mexico, but I don't think it's going to help him against this fight. Paulo Thiago, I think he has all the way around. He's great on the ground. He's improved his stand-up. He's a taller fighter than Diego Sanchez. I think Paulo Thiago is going to use Diego Sanchez's aggressiveness again to, subdue Diego Sanchez. He could finish Diego here. I originally did have Paulo Thiago finishing Diego Sanchez, but Diego's pretty hard to finish. So I just think Thiago is going to have the better of his stand-up. And if it does go to the ground, then it's going to be Thiago taking Sanchez down, and he's just going to control him on the ground. So I'm going to go Paulo Thiago unanimous decision over Diego Sanchez. Next fight, Brendan Schaub takes on Gabriel Gonzaga. Few people are picking Schaub. Some of the people on YouTube are, and I was pretty surprised. Majority of my friends, majority of people are picking Gonzaga. I'm on the Schaub fan boat here. And I think he's going to win. I truly think that he's more technical than Gonzaga, and I think he has the straighter punches, and that's how he's going to beat Gonzaga, is with those straight punches. He's got to stay away from Gonzaga's power hand. He's got to move, don't stay in one spot. He's got to stick and move, be a boxer, and he will pick apart Gonzaga on the feet. He's got to keep his distance, stay away from Gonzaga's takedowns, because once Gonzaga figures out that, oh shit, this guy's pretty good on the feet, he takes his opponent down, or he tries to, and that's what happens. So Schaub's got to keep that away, because once I think it hits the ground, then Gonzaga, that is his world, and I think he will submit Schaub. But Schaub, I think, will keep this fight on the feet. He will clip Gonzaga, and I think he'll finish it on the ground. So Brandon Schaub, first round TKO over Gabriel Gonzaga. Next fight, Tito Ortiz versus Matt Hamill. The student versus the teacher, or the coach versus the player, whatever you want to say. I originally had Ortiz, but I don't know. Ortiz keeps putting his foot in his mouth every time. He's been doing that, and it just keeps getting horrible. And he keeps forgetting that he's getting old in age, and he's not Randy Couture. So Matt Hamill, I think, is going to control Tito Ortiz on the ground. I think he does take this to the ground. His comment about Matt Hamill having a soft head, I think, is kind of stupid because, okay, he has a soft head, but I mean, he's taken some punishment before, and he's done it pretty well. So I just think that Tito just doesn't have it in him anymore, to be quite honest. If he does, then hey, I put a foot in my mouth, and Ortiz wins. But I just don't think he has it anymore. I think he's getting up there in age, and his body's getting old. His injuries have caught up with him, and I think that's what's going to lose him this fight. So I'm going to go with Matt Hamill, being the better wrestler, taking this down, just doing it what Tito Ortiz used to do. Hamill's going to do to him. Old-fashioned ground and pound, all 3 rounds to a unanimous decision. So I got Matt Hamill, UD, over Tito Ortiz. Next fight, the debut, or the UFC debut of Jake Shields, who takes on Martin the Hitman Kampmann. I respect a lot of people who say, Martin's a tough fighter and that this is no easy fight for Jake Shields. And it isn't. It's a tough fight. I think Hollis kind of looked over Martin Kampmann in his debut, and it cost him. But I really don't see Jake Shields doing that. I think Jake Shields, is much better on the ground than Martin Kampmann. I remember on the show that we watched, what was it called? The UFC puts on. Anyways, before the event, and they're saying, Kampmann's ground is better than his feet. I seriously doubt that, because Kampmann is a world-class striker, and his ground compared to Jake Shields, no way. Jake Shields, if it does go to the ground, he will keep you there, and he will either punch you in the face or he will submit you. That's just how it goes. So I'm gonna go with Jake Shields, unanimous decision over Martin Kampmann. If it goes to the feet, other than Cameron does have a big advantage, but I see Jake Shields getting close and getting into the ground pretty much with ease, and then him just laying on him or submitting him to a victory. So I'm gonna go with Jake Shields unanimous decision over Martin Kampmann uh, for a win in his debut. Um, Brock Lesnar takes on Cain Velasquez in the main event. This one I have a lot of trouble with, man. This is probably the hardest pick I've had on the card. I want to pick my boy Cain, but after watching the weigh-ins, man, holy crap, man, Brock Lesnar is huge. I mean, wow, it looked like literally like Cain Velasquez was in a totally different weight class. It looked like Cain was fighting at 205 and Brock was at like 285. It's just a big weight difference, and that would make me switch my pick. I did have Cain Velasquez winning this fight, but after yesterday watching the weigh-ins, I'm gonna go with Brock Lesnar. Third round TKO. I just think he will take Cain Velasquez down, and he will punch him. I think the first round will be kind of a slow pace. I think Cain probably will win that one. But I think second round, that's when Brock will pick it up. He'll use his speed, his size, and I think Cain Velasquez being more technical, having more speed just won't be enough. And then third round, he'll just take him down, and then the referee will stop it. So I want to be with my boy Cain, but I just don't see it happening. I want Cain Velasquez to win. That'd be awesome. I'll be stoked. I'll be super happy, but I'm gonna go with Brock Lesnar. Third round TKO to remain, and he'll have a tough time against Junior Dos Santos. Um, and that'll be a totally different story. So, run through my picks here real quickly. Starting from the bottom, Chris Camozzi unanimous decision over Dongi Yang. Mike Guymon over Daniel Roberts by unanimous decision. Sam Stout in a close decision, could be split, but I don't call split decisions. But Sam Stout unanimous decision over Paul Taylor. And then Gilbert Yvel first round TKO over John Madsen. On the SpikeTV bouts, I got Cote second round TKO over Tom Lawlor. Court McGee second round TKO over Ryan Jensen. And then on the main bouts, Brandon Schaub, first round TKO over Gabriel Gonzaga. Paulo, unanimous decision over Diego Sanchez. Matt Hamill, unanimous decision over Tito Ortiz. And Jake Shields, in his UFC debut, beating Martin Kampmann by unanimous decision. And then the main event, Brock Lesnar will retain his title in the third round TKO. But I'm hoping Cain beats his ass. But I don't think it's going to happen. So I have a lot of decisions on the card. But that's how I think it's going to happen. So there you go. There's my last minute predictions for UFC 121. So I really don't care how much views I get. That's how I do it. So there you go. I'm back with my predictions. Adios. You guys have a great night. Enjoy the fight. See you later. I will be putting out a review, by the way, so watch out for that. So see you later. Have a good night. Enjoy the fight.